Okay. Good morning, Hickory Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please join me in honor of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Glenn, would you mind opening with prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come before you this day, and we thank you for a peaceful night, hopefully, for most of us, but we ask for your provisions for this day, protection and guidance. Be with those here at this table. Those who couldn't be here, perhaps those who might be on their way. Bless this meeting so that as we seek to serve others, we may do so in your name. For it's in your name we pray this day. Amen. Amen.
Good morning, Rotarians.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we've got several issues this morning. Ron Leach is here. All right, Gavin has tried to provide security. He was out last week. It has been terrible. He's been out chasing squirrels. Everything can happen, but we've not had the security. And I want any comment that you want to make. Have you checked security this morning?
I have, in fact, I had to secure these cookies. They were stolen from the person that brought them. I had to run the guy down with my flashlight, tapped him on the head, and secured the cookies and brought them.
Hey, that's great. Hey. All right, I need $1 from you. All right, good deal. Ron, we're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, we are glad. Okay, Jake's Food, you got everything covered? All right. Now, there's several issues come before the club, and let me quickly go through these. All right, Regina, we are glad to have you as a member, but there are certain things that we have to do. Okay, bear with me. Your sponsor, okay, Reinhardt. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. This is how it works, so you need to understand. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, if you can't answer it, then your sponsor is getting money already.
Thanks for the confidence.
All right, in this issue of the Rotary, you do get the Rotary magazine. How many pages are in this magazine? Okay, there you go. Now this is, when you miss a question, the sponsor here is looking after you. So I need $1, please.
Now wait a minute, he doesn't get a chance to answer.
He doesn't want to hear me say 64.
He knows 64. All right. Now, Ron, all right, Michael, the new issue of the Rotary magazine is the photo issue. How many pages are in the photo issue? That's June.
Wait, how many pages?
Pages, yes.
Oh, how many, what number?
Yeah, the number.
I would guess 60, no, what's that? 60, yes, what I think.
64.
Yeah.
You are correct. Ron, I need another $1.
Now you know why I don't come very much. I can't afford it.
All right.
Hey, Wayne, how big is the cover photo?
The whole
Cover,
page.
the whole page, I have no idea. It says, oh, this one. Oh, it goes front and back. Good. All right, I'll get it. Now, you notice someone hang glided on that.
Oh, yeah, that's
Great
tough.
photos of this one.
That's right.
Really, really neat. All right, I'll pay the $1. I did not look on the back page.
Well,
Yes, sir.
point of order.
Yes,
As
sir.
president-elect, I can do this. The only one who asks questions during this time is you. You can't question back.
All right, we got an issue. Walter, now he's going to object, has lost his badge.
Oh. Say it is or
Or
so.
either someone has taken his badge.
Oh.
So we have an issue, and Walter is not appropriately dressed this morning. So as Sergeant at Arms, I'm going to fine you $1. Whatever's happened to your badge, I have no idea, but we may have to look at that one.
Did
Okay.
everybody look at that name on there?
Now, here's the last issue. I have had, as we said, Steiger going by my house, blowing the horn. And I blew, he was home this morning at 6:30 when I came by his house, and I did just touch on the horn slightly. Now,
Slightly.
all right. Richard Tucker is coming by my house, he's picked up the habit of blowing his horn. I don't know where he's gotten that, but now he's blowing, he's coming by my house.
And that's right across from a church.
It is, from the church. And I don't know if you're picking up Steiger's habit or not, because Steiger, the neighborhood is complaining about Steiger.
It's a
It
squirrel
blows
ran in
block
front
to
of
block, all the way
I
down.
was trying to get the squirrel out of the way.
Yes,
Why don't you
yes.
tell me you hit those things?
All right.
Is it the truth?
Now, I'm not gonna find you this time,
Oh,
but I wanna let you know
Thank you.
that I'm aware of that.
Okay.
All right.
That's not fair.
Foul.
Okay, I got a couple, but that's good enough.
Okay.
Okay, good deal. Ryan, you're off the hook. You were next.
Be prepared next week.
Carry over.
I think Joe has to leave early, but there's a card going around. Remember last week, Steve mentioned something that we could do for Donald, and it was suggested that rather than give Donald $5,000 just because he's a nice guy, that we might individually contribute to Classroom Connections, but at least sign a get well card for him. Joe, thank you for getting the card.
Put the cash in there.
And put the cash in there, or what would you suggest, Glenn? Just put the cash in there, let him have it that way, easier for you,
That's
right?
probably gonna be quicker for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So, I mean, but
Bob,
I'll do
he'll take
whatever
care
you
of it.
wish.
Something else came up in that meeting at that time, and that was it Phil or, well, anyway, one of you suggested that we might consider having a work day at Classroom Connection. In that regard, I asked staff and crew there what they thought. We identified 3, maybe 4 projects. They'll probably have to tear down the floor at the end of the season, and the last shopping day is tomorrow, Thursday. We have a lot of things that are in dispensing boxes that could be consolidated. We could do that. Oh no. We have a lot of things that are loose and poorly organized, and, excuse my sexual bias, one of the ladies got a burr up her butt about the goods not being organized by category. They're there, but unless you know where there is, you may not find it. And so she's suggesting one of the things we could do would be papers, books, pencils, blah, 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 and put category signs up. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. If you want to pursue something like that, I'll discuss it with Donald, who is miserable, by the way, guys. He came yesterday, and he stayed all of an hour and 15 minutes, and he had to go home and lay down. My bias, I think he got a bad operation. I don't think he got the result that anyone would expect they should get from that. Really sorry to hear that. But anyhow, there are some things, if you want to entertainment, there are some day work projects we could schedule if you're interested. Sorry.
Okay, and I think that'd be a good project for us to work on. We can schedule a day, but it's my understanding that throughout the year, there's a certain day of the week or days that you often do things there, is that correct?
We do. Every Tuesday morning for sure. They're there by 7:30, 8 o'clock normally. And on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, he does something good besides just make that good stuff available for the teachers to shop. Bring in developmentally challenged individuals on Tuesday morning. Bring in people living in a work-protected home on Wednesdays. I mean, there's our different groups that get to participate, and it's soul lifting to watch. Anyhow, he does more than just distribute goods to teachers.
So if you can get us a schedule, if you can talk to him, would be
Yeah.
a good time. So we can give the group advance warning at
Yes.
least, and we pick a date. And those who are able, we can go over there and help out a little bit.
You bet.
Thank you. And I'll have the card here. If you haven't signed it yet, let me know. I mean, I'll keep it here. We finish. When we leave, I'll give it to Rhino, and Rhino will take it to Donald. And thank you all for stepping up for one of our own. Regina, I think you had something you wanted to share, or do you? Okay, I was misinformed.
No,
Well,
you didn't bring your Operation Hope card?
it's in the car, but it's just something that we'd like to do on the 19th. Our bank has a new position that's coming that's not offered to a lot of banks, and it's actually somebody that was hired from the college here. And they come in and they provide counseling, credit counseling to low income.
That's right.
And it'll be ongoing. I was
It is.
mistaken when I
It's
said
not
that.
just a one-time thing. This is actually a huge community development project that we do. So big deal. We are having an open house for it. Our
You might.
yeah, in Beaumont, and our CEO Brian Jordan will be there. So.
Rhino and I were talking, but I was in the car on the phone, and I think we said the 19th. We're scheduled to go to Klingspor on the 19th, and so we can get another date.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know with the in calendar, and I'll go over June's calendar just in a few moments. Make sure we're all on the same page here. Okay. Anybody else have anything else before I just share a few things here? All right, Richard, last week we talked about the fact that you are scheduled for a program today and thought that it might be a good idea for the club to know a little bit more about you personally and your involvement in the company which you now own, and how you got into that and the growth of it. If you don't mind sharing for a few minutes?
I'll be glad to. Yeah, I'm Richard Tucker. I was born here in Hickory, North Carolina. I went to Concordia Christian Day School from 3rd to 8th grade in Conover, and then to Granite Falls High School for high school. Graduated in '67. After graduation in '67, my grandmother asked me if I would drive them back to the Indian reservation, which I'm a member of the Mohawk tribe, part of New York, St. Regis Mohawk tribe. So it's up in part of New York in Hogansburg, which is right close to the Canadian border. In '67, about in June '67. And so we stayed up there with my Uncle Abe and Aunt Cecilia. And my mom would call me probably about in October and told me that I'd gotten drafted, that I needed to come home. So we came back home, and instead of going in the Army, I said, I don't want to go in the Army, I want to go in the Navy. So I had sort of fuzzy math, because if I'd have been drafted, it had been 2 years, but when I enlisted, it was 4, and I didn't realize But served 4 years in the Navy.
So you didn't have to climb through the mud, did you?
I did not climb through the mud.
But your dad was Navy too, that was it.
Yeah, my dad was World War II Navy. And he's been here, I think, one time and gave a program one time. So then after I got out of the Navy, which is in November of '71, I went to work at Commercial Fabricators, where I'm now, in the following February of '72. And from there, I painted. It was a steel fabrication company, and I painted, come in about 4 o'clock in the morning, and at that time I had sort of long hair, mustache, and we had to wrap towels around our heads, Craig Wheeler and I, and we put Vaseline all on our face, because we had to go inside these, what we call these bins, and we had to spray and paint, and paint would get all over us, and so we'd come in about 4 o'clock and paint these bins. And then afterwards, we'd take all the Vaseline stuff off of it, we'd load the truck, and then we'd take it and deliver it. I would take it and deliver it. And when I'd come back, then we'd weld them together. And so that was a routine, day after day. I'd come in at 4 o'clock and paint, and then load them on the truck, and then deliver them, and then come back and weld them together. So I did that until I had the opportunity to start doing detailing, which is pencil paper then. And so I did that. Now what we do is we actually fabricate stairs and handrails and ladders mostly. And we do stairs and rails all over eastern part of the United States. And I had a chance to do some detailing, and they gave me a couple of small jobs to detail at home. So I had a little drafting table at home, and I would draw the stairs and take them in, and you know, they'd look at it and say, oh, that's not too bad, and so they put me in the drawing office. So in the drawing office, there was only 2 of us. And when I started, there was only 7 of us. And so I started drawing. And so after a couple of years drawing, 3 or 4 years drawing, we hired some more people in the drawing office. The company got a little bit bigger, and so then they made me what they called chief draftsman, which was in charge of 2 more guys that were detailing. So I had to teach them how to draw pencil paper still. And so from there, I was made vice president of commercial fabricators. And then after that was made president of commercial fabricators. And I ran the company probably a good 8-10 years while the owner still owned it. And he'd asked me a couple of times, did I want to buy it? And I didn't want to buy it. I didn't want to go there. It was ironic because I owned like 14% of the company. And what would happen is he would take out dividends. And when he, if you know about that, but when he take out dividends, then whatever he took, I got 14% of it. And he was pretty generous in taking money out. And so I got 14% of whatever he took out. And I thought, now why would I want to have the headache of owning all this stuff when I get all this money? So I turned it down a couple of times. And then in 2005, he asked me to, again, he said, I've talked to my kids and they don't want it. And so I just need to know if you want it. And so I decided to buy it then. So in 2005, I did purchase it. Me and BB&T. And actually I bought it and I had to go in debt for $1.2 million. And so I did, and my wife and I. And actually, I paid off the loan. I paid off the loan in 13 months.
Wow.
All of it. I paid it off for 13 months. Could have paid it off in a year, and I wanted to pay it off in a year, but the accountant wouldn't let me do it. No, we don't need to do that. So I was really blessed immensely. And so after I purchased the company, me being Native American and a tribal member, which is important because if you're going to be a minority company, which is what we are, from my perspective as a Native American, you have to be a tribal member from a federally recognized tribe, and you have to be a member. Unlike African Americans or Hispanics or Asians, you don't have to prove that, except for Native Americans do. You have to, that was always an issue that I thought. But nevertheless, I went through a great deal of certifications to get certified as a company. And so we ended up getting certified. And then from there, we had to get certified, for instance, in North Carolina. You have to get certified in North Carolina. You have to get certified in Catawba County. You have to get certified in Hickory. So you have to do that because there's city money, there's county money, and there's state money. So you have to get certified in all that. So in a lot of states, you still have to do that, even in Charlotte. You have to be certified in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and then Charlotte, the city. And really, by being a minority company, what it helps us to do is it gives us more opportunity to bid jobs. And people seek us to bid the jobs. You don't get anything. You don't get any quirks. You still have to have a low number, and you still have to do a good job. And so, but the opportunity that they give us, especially in difficult times, recession times, is there's sometimes state money, sometimes there's county money, federal money, and so they look for you to bid. They want you to bid the work so that they get an opportunity to say, I reached out to the minority people, and because they have a quota to do so much percentage of what they build, they have to be built by minority companies. So, so that's the advantage of it, and the only advantage of it. And so, after again too, I bought it in 05, paid it off in 13 months, and from there, been doing very well. And we have about 36 employees. I also hire the prisoners from the work release camps. They come and work there. They want to work every day. They want to come every day, and they're good employees, but they never stay. Once they get out of prison, they usually take a week or two off before they come back to work. And they usually come back to work for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, and then they're usually gone, either back in the prison or something happens to them.
Sad.
It's sad, but most of the time, you just have to know that usually they don't stay. But while they're in prison, they want to be there every day. And so that's it, and they treat it just like any other employee. You give them the same wages, still get the 401k. The only thing they don't get is medical, because they have their own medical.
And also he does boat work.
Boat work, yeah. So that's what we do. We do a lot of miscellaneous steel stairs. And we did a big job of a called P24 school in New York City. Because in New York City, nothing's horizontal; it's all vertical, and a lot of stairs. And we've got a job, I think, at Cape Canaveral. You've seen the rockets, and well, there's stairs that go up them things, and we got a job just recently of one that goes up that stairs. And a lot of that comes from federal money, because again, too, they reached out for us to do that, and we priced it, and we got it.
Could you tell us about some of the football stadiums y'all worked
Yeah, we
on?
did NC State. We did NC State, all the catwalk and stuff that's up above the NC State Coliseum. And we did the Oculus, what's called the Oculus for the Clemson University. That when you go into the football stadium, the huge Oculus in the front that we did. And that's an interesting one, because when we got the job at Clemson and we went for the pre-bid meeting, they told everybody there that you cannot wear a red shirt of any kind. They said that. You cannot wear a red shirt. If you wear a red shirt, we're going to throw you off the job site. That's what they said. You could not wear a red shirt.
We got the same rule at Columbia.
Yeah.
No orange.
So, but that's, and a couple things. We did a job in Fort Bragg. It's called Force Con Shop. We did down there for actually a company called Henson Phelps. That's an interesting thing, because what happened was it was a $15 million job, and when I went to a pre-bid meeting. As a matter of fact, I flew up in a private jet up to Washington, and we was in this meeting, and what they wanted me to do, little company as we are, they wanted to give the whole project to us. The whole project, all this big structural steel, miscellaneous steel, everything. They wanted to give it to us. Because what they wanted to do was they wanted to increase our contract price so that the minority participation would be high. And at the time I didn't realize that, but they wanted to give us, and it was about 15 million. And so they wanted us, and then the guy sitting beside me was the one that's doing all the steel. He worked for me. So that's how we did that. And then after we got done with that 15 million, there's a program that the federal government has, that if you hire Native American companies to do the work, then the contractor gets 5% of whatever that contract is worth at Native American. They get that back for hiring Native American companies.
Yeah.
So our miscellaneous price was close to $1 million. That one was, and they got like $750,000 back for using us. So their miscellaneous was almost free. So it's a lot that has to do with minority companies and how all that works. and that's another kind of story. But Lord has blessed me immensely because of that. He has, and so I certainly give him the credit for that.
Your Vaseline and turban experience came about before OSHA had confined entry restrictions, didn't it?
Yeah. So that's and now my son runs most of the company now. My son does. I go in about 9 o'clock and leave at about 1:30, something like that. And I look after the finances. He does everything else, but he's doing a good job. Matter of fact, they're in Florida right now.
Yeah.
Did fly to Florida yesterday for a pre-bid meeting for Orlando Airport terminal.
Richard, thank you. I hope you all understand each of you is a program. When your name appears as you're responsible for a program, if you can't find somebody to come in and you don't have a specific program of your own, you yourself are a program. And we learned a lot today. And each of us, there's a background story for every one of us. Glenn, I mean, whatever your name is.
Richard, I don't know if you know, but you're the only member of the club who has a character based on him in one of my books.
Oh.
It's a guy. He's in both books. He's in the first book, and he's a big old redneck distributor guy from North Carolina. But then in the second book, he discovers that he's got some small part of him that's Native American, and he rides that for all it's worth all through the book. You know, with the federal programs and all that kind of stuff. And nobody's really sure if he really is Native American. But he goes to trade shows and things and wears a big headdress and, you know, all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's not based on you, but it's taken to a ridiculous extreme. And so you're the only person here who has that dubious honor.
Thank you.
You know something?
Have you, go ahead, Rob.
You didn't mention that as a member of your tribe, you were honored with parts of an eagle.
I did. I got a whole eagle, a whole bald eagle, and it came to me frozen, and I had it stuffed, and it's in my house. And in addition to that, I found out I could have another. So I've ordered another one, and I've got it, and the taxidermist who knew I had a bald eagle, but this one's a juvenile. The first one I got was a full adult with the white feathers. This one's a juvenile, and he wanted it because he's a taxidermist, and he's a real impressive taxidermist, and he wanted that to take it to a conference to show that he could do it, and not too many people have eagles in a taxidermist. So I had to give him all my paperwork, copies of all my paperwork, because it would be a
That's a federally regulated
yeah.
event. Yeah.
Tell them why, everybody can't, why.
No, everybody can't, that's right. In order to get the eagle, I had to fill out an application from the Colorado repository, Eagle Repository. And then part of that application, you have to send it to the reservation. They have to verify that you are indeed a tribal member from a federally recognized tribe. And they send that back to you. And in that application, you have to include that with it. And then you have to decide what you want. If you want the whole eagle, you want just feathers, you want just the head, you want just the tail, whatever it is. And then if you want the whole eagle, it takes about 5 years to get one. So now I got 2. And in addition to that, I also asked for a red-tailed hawk, which I got from Atlanta Birds of Prey. You could do that, so I got a red-tailed hawk too. And my wife said, that's enough.
But Richard, even keeping the feather, like one least one is an eagle feather, it cannot do it.
It's against the law. That's right. It's against the law to even pick one up.
That was just a tail feather.
You can't do it. That's a bird of prey or an eagle, either one. Or animals do it.
You can give them a turkey feather though, right, Richard?
Well, you can't do that turkey feathers either. I mean, you can turkey feathers, but you can't use turkey feathers to sell. You can pick them up, but you can't take it and make something out of turkey feathers and sell it.
Really? Even domestic turkeys?
Yep.
Wow.
Which is better eating, the turkey or the eagle? You skip that one.
That'd be $1.
I'll tell you that.
Richard, you mentioned the Mohawks are federally recognized. Do you know whether the Lumbees are?
They are not.
They're not
They
recognized.
are not. There's a couple criteria in order for them to be federally recognized. And the one thing they do not have is they do not have their own language.
Mm.
I'm real close to the Catawba Indians.
Mhm.
And Christine from Catawba Indians told me that the Lumbees had approached them and asked them if they could use their language. And Catawba said no.
Yeah.
So until they can get their own language, they will never be federally recognized.
Has any of you ever visited Richard's place?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
It is, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
If we ever get a chance as a group, I was blown away by it, absolutely blown away. Congratulations, and Richard, thank you, my friend. In the few minutes that we have that remain, would you take one, Gavin, and pass it on down, and Riley, you take one and pass it on down? Once you take a look at this and be thinking about it, these are some fundraising ideas for next year. These were generated from the work session we had a month or so ago. We know we're going to have a dance in October. And the thing I want, we should reach some consensus on is, Richard, do you have two of them there by any chance, or just one?
Yep, I do, you're right, sorry.
What kind of things we want to do? These were brought up. Do another dance. Do a golf tournament. An antique auto show. My personal favorite is number 4, lacrosse tournament, because that's not being done anywhere around here. And they've done soccer tournaments and all kinds of things, and lacrosse is growing in this area.
Well, guess where lacrosse started?
Mohawks, right, then.
And
Was it really the Mohawks?
Yeah, up on the boundary waters.
Yep.
so we know who the chair for that thing's going to be. Outdoor movie, lobster and oyster dinners. I've done a little checking on that. St. Albans Church has done that. It's cost effective for them because for the oysters, at least I know, 1 or 2 of the church members buy the oysters themselves. And so the church doesn't pay for the oysters. We've had some parishioners who've had to do that. So that saves money. So we can sell oranges and roses and stuff like we did in the past.
Oh, happy day.
And you can see the other things that are mentioned there. Be thinking about something you think we could get behind that is not too labor intensive, but at least involves folks and might generate some revenue and also might put our name to something. And Hickory Rotary Club has Rotarian Idol. That's their biggie. They're known for that.
Lake Hickory has the soccer tournament.
No more.
Okay.
What?
They stopped it.
Yeah, they did, yeah. But they had that. Don't know what happened, why they stopped it. But.
It's labor intensive.
And that's, we want to take a look at how labor intensive will a lacrosse tournament be. But you have a coach here who has really helped generate a lot of interest in lacrosse. His own daughter graduated from Hickory High School and decided not to go to Carolina and play lacrosse. And so you got that flavor here. St. Stephen's boys team is one of the best in the area. Hickory High's girls team is one of the best in the area. And so maybe we could tap into that interest. It's something to consider.
It'd be great to do something that somebody else is not doing.
Exactly, yeah. So.
And how much would it cost us, because that would be to get, how much we could have out.
And how much time and how much money would it generate? And if the club wanted to go, or even if I can gather information to talk to the coach here, what would it take? You have plenty of fields in the area, that's not an issue. Do we have enough referees? How many teams would come? But it's growing. to say the least. But consider that if you would. And we'll talk about it more at the June 12th Club Assembly. Next week, Steiger is listed for the program, but I don't know if he has one. And I'll send an email out and we'll see. And if not, I don't know if that'd be too soon for the person you know, Virginia, to come. But let me check with Steiger first to see if he has anything planned. He's been working on Klingspor, and that he may want that to be his program on the 19th. We have a club assembly on the 12th. And the other thing I want you thinking about, I'll put this in an email out to you as a reminder, what service projects should or could we be involved in next year? Again, not 35 different things we're doing, but a handful of things that we say, okay, we've done this. I mean, years and years and years, when we first were at club, we used to do, adopt a highway, clean up. The first time we had about 20 people, last time we had 4. It's that kind of thing of getting involved and staying involved in something. So what kind of service projects? Doing something at Classroom Connection is a service project. Go ahead.
Does Rise Against Hunger come under service project?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah. That's in other words, we're working, doing something, raising money for somebody else, or just doing a service
Winter warmth.
For somebody else. And winter warmth is definite. Be thinking about those so we can talk more about that. I will forward an email, unless, Rhonda, you want to talk about the District 7670 installation. These are district officers. Tiffany will be installed at other offices at the district level.
Yeah, basically you'll get Tiffany, you'll get the assistant governors, which there are, what, 9 of us now, and communications, membership, the different chairs that they have to run things. It's going to be an interesting year because as of July 1st, we are closing the district office. Margaret Gormley Chapman will no longer be available to keep me out of trouble. So we're going to have to learn. We may have to have another DAC TV session because we're going to have to learn how to access Rotary through the internet. So I'll be glad to share that when the time comes.
Rick, have we set the end of the year meeting for us?
Yes, it is set right now, tentatively, for the 26th in the evening at CBCC in the workforce, what's it called? Workforce Solution Complex.
That's Wednesday?
Yes. And
what time?
what time we usually do, 5:30?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Is that a problem?
We will install our new officers. Teresa Biggs will be there to install the group. We will give the awards. Remember, I'm still waiting for you guys to let me know who the Rotarian of the Year is. We have a couple of folks. So just have 2 nominees so far that I've received. Keep that in mind, please. And on the 12th, and I'll send this out again, we're going to take pictures and get updated information on the 2019-2020 club directory. And we have an insert to this one that has Roger's picture. I think it has Ryan's. I don't know if it has Ryan's picture or not.
I think so.
They did have.
Yeah.
No, his name, but not his picture. And so we need pictures from everybody.
It's out there.
To get a whole new one done. All right, and we're thinking if we could get a lot of pictures with the same background on one day, to knock as many of them out as we possibly can.
If we go on DACTV and reprint those pages that should have pictures, they're there. Regina's there, Roger's there, Ryan's there.
On DAC-DB they are.
Yeah, and that's where those came from.
Yeah, okay. Well, Jenny is proctoring today with, at Beaumont. She's leading. So if anybody is going to proctor at any of the elementary schools or middle schools, thank you for doing that. I'll be going Monday to Beaumont myself to proctor. Anything else for the good?
Thursday. I'm going Thursday.
Okay, thank you, we appreciate that. That's a service project. And anything we can do to help others, that's what we're thinking about, and we'll finalize that.
Hey, Rick, for the end of the year, for this coming end of the year, programs for the month of June, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was listed there for June 19th on the original program schedule. But I'm hearing you say that about Cleansport. That's why I'm asking about June's, the programs for June. Because I'm almost positive I was listed for June.
You are listed?
I was listed for June 19th.
Okay.
Which is okay, I don't mind not doing it. I'm just,
Yeah, you were. Oh, I know what, okay. Remember, it wasn't the program so much. Remember Donald wanted us off campus on the 5th Wednesday.
Right.
And we had signed up back then, and we were gonna go there. Not that you had the program,
Right.
but Jenny had the program, and we were gonna meet at Commercial Fabric. That's what that was all about.
So the 19th, I will not have it then, right?
Correct, unless you had something going you want to talk to Steiger about.
I do have something going, that's why I was asking.
Well, we can reschedule Klingspor.
Or I can reschedule mine too, so let me just talk to Steiger.
Yeah, okay, either way is fine.
Okay.
Anything else we need? Other things we think, say, or do?
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Have a good week.